Hello again, it's Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we are so glad that you have joined us. I'm Steve Post. I'm in the Hercules Tires studios in Concord, North Carolina, and joining me from the Lethal Chassis, it's easy for me to say Lethal Chassis Studios up in Pennsylvania, is Ashley Stremme. Hello, Ashley, how are you?
I am fabulous. How about you, Steve?
I am really, really good. You and I had really, really, really good race weekends at short tracks. You were at Slinger last week for the SRX program. Tell me what you saw at that great short track up in Wisconsin.
Standing room only at Slinger. The place was packed. The fans turned out. It was an awesome show. But honestly, the vibe, the environment that we're seeing right now in short track racing is electric. I don't know how else to explain it. It's absolutely incredible. And to have a fellow Pennsylvania native, Marco Andretti, pick up the win at SRX, it was a phenomenal, incredible, awesome weekend.
So can they claim him as posse now? That's the question.
I think we might be able to start that. I'll have to talk to him this weekend about it.
That is cool. I spent the weekend at Knoxville. It was the Truck Series race for NASCAR. We were supposed to have USAC and 410 sprint cars on Saturday night. That got rained out. You said the key word. Vibe. The vibe at Knoxville was unreal. First and foremost, when you pull into Knoxville, the vibe is really, really good. That Truck Series crowd, the Truck Series race, everything, there was just so much energy, such a vibe there. It carried over until Saturday. Spent some time at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, and all of it was great. Rains came down on Saturday night, but Ashley, the word vibe, the energy, the short track world is definitely good, and it's phenomenal. Now, are you going to Nashville this week for a little bit more of it?
Oh, yeah. And Nashville's going to be insane, so I'm excited.
I'll see your Nashville insane and raise you Eldora insane. How about that? And we'll compare notes next week.
I love it.
We'll compare notes next week, but it is fun. Folks, the messaging here is get out to a racetrack. Yes, that's the message. You'll enjoy it. You'll love it. And another guy who loved going to a racetrack this past week was Friday night. Hunter Schurenberg racing up at the State Line Speedway in Busty, New York. It was the Flow Racing All-Star Circuit of Champions. He's racing with Zeb Wise. Here's our main man, Blake Anderson, with the call on Flow Racing.
And now for the Drydene death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Schurenberg closed the gap quickly, but Wise got on the hammer and pulled back away. Zeb Wise trying to get through lap traffic, and there's Hunter Schurenberg to the lead. Schurenberg threads the needle. Hunter Schurenberg to the top spot.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Drydene Diesel All Death, the official death of the world of outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Drydene.com for more information.
Pride. Passion. Performance. We are Team Drydene.
Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit, continues on here. And let's go to the Hercules Tire Hotline. Joining us from the great state of California, it's Bud Kaeding on the line. Hello, Bud. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, guys. How we doing? Thanks for having me.
Good. We're doing well. Man, I'll tell you what, I see that Kaeding number 69 car up at the front of the field a lot. Looks like you're running along. I see you pick up a win here. You've got a lot of second-place runs. How's the racing been thus far this season?
It's been pretty good. Not as good as we want it. We've been close to winning quite a few races, just haven't closed the deal, at least not with the 410. We've been pretty solid with the 360 running up at Watsonville. If Sanders isn't winning, seems that we are. Just with the 410 thing, man, we've been right there, just led a lot of laps, and just something seems to, whether I get lost out of the rubber or choose the wrong line on a double file restart several times. Losing a race like that sucks too. So but obviously it's always a process, and getting in position to win races has got to happen, I guess, before you start winning them. So I'll just kind of take the next step, hopefully this weekend, and land that thing in victory lane.
No doubt about it. But California racing, I know we've talked about it, it seems like for a couple years now, but it has absolutely taken off, it seems like in the last year or two at this point. How much does that mean to you, knowing that you've got a 9 to 5, if you will, through the week, and being able to hit so many races now on the weekends in California? How important is that to you?
Well, I mean, it's good. It's our business, so to be able to go to the races, and we have a travel support trailer that we take for our shop here to all these other tracks as well. So getting to all the tracks again is awesome. But the competition level, I mean, it's the same people that have been out here for years. They're just starting to get into their sprout of where they're competitive night in, night out with Neto, Selzy, Sanders. We got some other new kids coming up out here. The Ancona kids getting really good up here at Watsonville. So the competition level right now, anywhere you go, I don't go up north to Placerville too much. Just it's a bit of a hike for us up there. So I don't really get that way. But guys are getting good down there. There's good. The Hanford racing's really good. Tulare got really good car counts when we go there. So anywhere you go, the energy's good around the pits. There's for a little while. Seemed like it was kind of fading away a little bit, sprint car racing, but I think then again we're in a cycle of age spurts where guys were getting out of racing and other guys were too young. And if you could imagine that in California, there was a time when these guys were too young to race, but now seems like everywhere you go, you're racing against anywhere from 14 to 50-year-olds nowadays. Where when I started, Tim and I weren't allowed to race till we were 16. That was not even thought of. So definitely a lot of stuff happening out here. A lot of cars when you go to the tracks, a lot of new faces. So it's good to see sport growing and thriving again.
Growing and thriving. We have spent a lot of time on our podcast. Aaron Evernham and I are co-hosts of that podcast on Tuesday, getting into a lot of the nuts and bolts of 360, 410 racing out in California. 360 racing has really grown into something there. You are very pro 410. You've made that very clear, and I love that and respect that. And I want to talk about what is happening with the 410 world out there and just kind of have you kind of restate some of the things you've shared with us. It seems like Peter Murphy at Hanford and King of the West and some other things are happening out there. And do we feel like that there might be a 410 resurgence or revival happening out there as well, Bud?
I feel it coming back, and a lot of it is Jim Allen with the King of the West series. He's been doing a good job promoting it, pushing it. But then Pete, what he's doing down at Hanford and Tulare, helping down at Tulare at least, has all been positive, and the car counts are getting good. And at some point, I mean, if you want to be a sprint car racer, you got to be Donnie Schatz. You got to beat Donnie Schatz or Brad Sweet. You can't learn to beat those guys unless you got a 410. And 360s are great, and it's a great feeder series. I just think that 410s is really where sprint car racing is at and where it needs to be.
Now, you mentioned earlier that, you've got a parts trailer that you guys take. Obviously, your business that you help run is Kaeding Performance. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about what goes on your day-to-day basis and what you guys really do at Kaeding Performance?
We're just really a retail sprint car parts store. I mean, we don't really dabble into any other auto sports at all. It's just strictly sprint car parts, shipping daily parts coming in, going out. We got methanol we sell here. We have quite a few customers swing by through the week, pick up their methanol for the races. And then with our parts trailer, I mean, it's like a mobile trailer. It's got everything you need in there for spares, rear ends. We carry quite a bit of fuel. Service the racetracks with tires out here when we can get them. And then, the business end of it, there's 4 of us here full-time. We have a full-time shock station where we do rebuild and revalve factory cane shocks, full Brown and Miller plumbing here. I don't know, it's hard to describe without having something on video. It's cool. We've been here forever. When we first started here, my grandfather and his brother started building wheels for cars and building lawn furniture, and then they moved into we had an automotive machine shop where they built engines, and then 2004, I believe it was, we had a fire come from over the freeway and burned our business down. So we lost everything and have rebuilt, and here we are again. And we're just kind of strictly sprint car. Before, like I said, we were automotive machine shop as well. But just sprint cars. Bring your sprint car down here. We have a couple customers that bring them down. We help maintain them a little bit, and yeah, cool stuff.
Love it. Man, that is fantastic. I was out there a couple years ago, and what a neat place, that's for sure. Hey, Bud, hang in there. We're going to step away for just a little bit. Everyone else stick around. More with Bud Kaeding in just a moment.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honeycrisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy.
Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit, continues on. We are talking to Bud Kaeding from out in the great state of California, the Kaeding family, the Kaeding name, and this weekend at Ocean Speedway in Watsonville, it's the Howard Kaeding Classic, one of the great races out on the Western schedule. So, Bud, for those people that are just tuning into our television program and maybe have heard the name but not all that familiar with the family history, tell me a little bit about your grandfather, H.K. Howard Kaeding.
Well, there's a lot to tell.
Yeah.
We need 4 more segments. He's been around for quite a while now. Obviously, he's getting ready to turn 89 here next month. Started racing back. Actually, his brother first started racing, Herb. That's where the 69 came from. And my grandfather started racing. Actually, the first time he went to a race, he raced at, and just kind of slowly progressed out here. Then in the got into the super modified stuff. He recently started in hard tops. And, that went on for a little while. The stuff out here at San Jose Fairground, or San Jose Speedway, I believe it was called first. Then it transitioned a little bit. They were racing 3 or 4 days a week at Ernie Bowl, Madera, West Capitol. Then it went to dirt out here at the San Jose Fairgrounds from the Speedway, which wasn't too far away. And then the traditional pavement modified turned into a dirt modified with a bigger wing and bigger tires, and then that was the evolution of sprint car racing out here, I believe. I'm just telling you my story. But he won a lot of races out here, a lot of championships, him and the Pombos and the Sargents, Clyde Palmers. There was some pretty good racers back in the day. Roland Rolotica, I think, was working and racing on cars out here at one time with my grandfather. He's been around a while, raced sprint cars, non-wing, not too much non-wing, but kind of all over, up and down the West Coast here racing. Never got to dabble out too much. Said his dream in racing was obviously to go to Indy. Never got the chance to do that, but then he wanted to race 7-pound cars, but he did that a couple of times down at Copper World, but never full time. So I don't know. There's a lot to learn about him. He said it'd be 89 next month, and the stories are still. I see him 3 or 4 days a week around the shop here, and it's always a new story still. So it's pretty cool to have that history around and hear his stories still.
Sure.
To have that history and to see how much the racing bug has gone through the family is so cool. And the fact that you honor, with the classic race coming up this weekend, what is it that you guys, I know you guys do so much out there for the Howard Kaeding Classic. What all do you have on tap for this weekend?
Really, at this rate, kind of the same old hat. Just we have a nice little party after the races Friday night. Miles with High Five Pizza that sponsored our race cars for decades out here on the West Coast. They cater it Friday, all the proceeds Friday night, and then we also have a luncheon on Saturday. All the proceeds go to the North Benevolent Fund to help injured drivers or crew guys out here on the West Coast. So, we tried doing a little bit more for the fan side of it, creating a better fan zone. But we didn't really know our limitations and restrictions out here really until today. So it was hard to get some more stuff lined up. Just we try to build the event bigger every year. Try to build like a little midway outside where it's a little more fan friendly for kids and stuff like that. So just, I guess, keep digging. Then also on the other end of it, for the driver's side, I work for, I don't know, probably takes me about a month and a half, but work on raising a lot of money for the purse. And a lot of it comes from our competitors. We're paying to play on our own playground a lot, but I got a lot of outside money as well. So I think at this rate, I've raised about $30,000 to add into the purse for all the drivers on Friday and Saturday night. So it's not the best paying purse that we have out in California, or at least not the best paying to win. But I think overall, you get more bang for your buck at our event on the race team side. So a lot of fun. I enjoy the promoting end of it. Maybe one day when I'm not driving, maybe I'll look into that a little bit. So I know it's cool. It's a great event, Aaron. Maybe you guys can come out one day.
I'll tell you what, I enjoyed it. I was there a couple years ago, and it was phenomenal. Really was neat. Bud, real quick before we let you go, the King of the West Series, of course, this week it's the 11th annual Howard Kaeding Classic. I'm looking at the calendar, and it's called the fastest 5 days in motorsports, August 25th through the 29th, 5 straight nights of racing. How's everyone going to gear up for that, and what's that going to be like to have your own speed week out in California?
It's been good. We, something back in the 80s and the 90s, there was going on. I think it was 7 days straight, and that was a lot of fun as a kid when we were going to do it, Tim and I. It was sponsored by J.W. Hunt and High Five Pizza for quite a while, and it transitioned to Silver Legacy. But we had one a couple of years ago, and it was 4 nights. And this year they stretched it out to 5, which is good. It's a good time of the year to get racing again. The Outlaws come out a couple weeks after, so it'll be good. It's something that we haven't had consistently out here in the West Coast, at least not in California, for a few years. So it'll be fun to get doing it, get back out on the road. I felt like when I was a kid, we were in hotels all the time, and I don't know ever when we stay in hotels anymore because we're at Watsonville Friday, home, and then on the way somewhere else on Saturday. So it'd be fun to get out on the road and just kind of get digging into it again. So I can't wait. We're excited about it. I don't know how you gear up. I don't know. Hopefully it's not too hot. It's been hot out here lately. So
yeah.
Hopefully it cools off a little bit by then. But I don't know. If not, we'll be ready to roll either way.
Yep. You'll find these guys working in hotel parking lots. How about that? That's Speed Weeks for you, that's for sure. Well, Bud, I'll tell you, it's always great to catch up.
The car washes love us, too. The car washes love us.
Oh, I bet they do. With all of that clay, they must love when you roll through town. Oh, gosh, that's funny. I didn't really, yes, because a lot of times these are at places where they have racetracks and they're used to it. But there might be some new car washes that get christened here over the course of those 5 days.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, a car wash in Port Royal kind of expects certain things, but a car wash out there might be different. Bud, it is always a pleasure to catch up with you. We wish you the best this weekend with the Howard Kaeding Classic, and then throughout the season racing those cars and at Kaeding Performance. Thanks for the time.
All right, guys. Thanks again. And obviously, if you're listening and are not here and can't make it, tune into Flow Friday and Saturday night. Check it out.
There we go. Flow Racing. That's the side of it. It is Bud Kaeding joining us here on the Hercules Tire Hotline. Stay with us. Our Tweet Your Seat tweet of the week and a lap around the sprint car world are coming up.
Power isn't born. It's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain. And we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
We're back here watching Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit, and it's time for the Tweet Your Seat tweet of the week, and it comes from Dawn Hirschberger. I love this. We can all see the sprint cars, but when you take your family and your friends, it makes it even more incredible. They are at their favorite race of the year, at their favorite track. It's the Lou Blaney Memorial for the All-Star Sprint Cars at Sharon Speedway, and they're having a blast. We always talk about family and racing with the race car drivers, but there's even family from the friend side of things too.
That looks so much fun. I saw that one Saturday night when I was out in Knoxville, and it just made my heart happy, that's for sure. And the Lou Blaney Memorial, Saturday night, was Spencer Baston picked up the win in that race. But I love when we see family and kids and friends and people all gathered at a racetrack. It means y'all are having a good time. And we have a good time with a lap around the sprint car world. And this story is absolutely among the best that we have in sprint car racing right now. It's turn number 1. It's a guy with a nickname of Dynamite, Mark Dobmeyer. Now, Ashley, you know the story. Back in 2020 at Cedar Lake Speedway, World of Outlaws, Mark was in a serious crash with a serious back injury that one time they weren't even sure that he was going to walk again. But a year later, with full recovery, Mark was back in a sprint car.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was there for that wreck at Cedar Lake, and it wasn't good. But what is great is the fact that he was able to finally climb back in the race car Friday and Saturday, River City Speedway and Wayne Anderson Cup, the NOSA Sprints. Not only did he win one the first time back in the car, he swept the weekend. It doesn't get any better than that.
No, it doesn't. I'll tell you what, Mark Dobmeyer, one of the really great guys, had a chance to catch up with him at Huset's, and he was really anxious to get back and racing. I thought it was really neat. He kept fielding a car all throughout this time just to keep the team up to speed, the speed in the car, his sponsor, Buffalo Wild Wings, happy, and I'm sure everybody was happy after River Cities this past weekend with the sweep. Off from turn number 1 to turn number 2, another upper Midwesterner off and running. Justin Henderson, one of the really great guys in the sport, Ashley. He is from out in South Dakota, but actually he spent some time racing with you guys over in Pennsylvania. He just is a wonderful, wonderful person.
Super great guy. We loved him when he was here in Pennsylvania. We hate that he's gone, but he's doing some incredible stuff too. July 3rd, he was the winner at Knoxville. And then July 11th, the winner at Huset. So he's got success out there too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We had him on our stage up at Huset's when we did our live show up there, and he felt like he had lost some momentum, but he thought they were close to getting it back. I'll say, looks like they're really, really close, and they are going to be a handful, that is for sure. So that's turn number 2. Let's go to turn number 3. Headed down the back straightaway. ASCS, Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. They have their Speed Week coming up with 9 races in 10 days. They start in Arkansas. I can't wait. I'm going to get out there and see this. Riverside, Batesville, I-30. Then they go to Texas for Super Bowl Speedway. And then they take a break, Ashley, and then they continue on with their 9 nights of racing.
Then to Oklahoma and Kansas for rounds 5 through 9.
There we go. Finally, off turn number 4 we come, and had a chance to spend a little time at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. They have the tribute to Greg Hodnett. That is spectacular, and you can support the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in so many ways. A lot of cars on display. They have a gift shop. They have membership out there. They have a Corvette raffle. They have a sprint car raffle and so much more. It's www.sprintcarhof.com. There is your lap around the sprint car world. Stay with us. More in just a moment.
I'm not ready yet. Come on. All right, I'm ready now.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
I just stopped by to pick up my sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
Yeah, okay.
This is what it looks like when you do it.
Ta-da!
Take a deep breath, count to 5. It's like running across a rhythm section at a motocross track.
Mine was perfect.
Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit, continuing on. First and foremost, we appreciate Bud Kaeding joining us on the Hercules Tire Hotline. Now, all of the sprint car world is abuzz about the Kings Royal. So we record this before the weekend, so we know everyone is all fired up about the Kings Royal. But for the World of Outlaw NOS Energy sprint car drivers, Ashley, and sprint car racers in the state of Pennsylvania, it doesn't end because they're headed your way.
It's true. It is the Don Martin Memorial Silver Cup at Lernerville for $25,000 to win. So just a short little jaunt from Eldora to Lernerville, and it's going to be incredible because I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of people headed to Lernerville.
There is. That's Tuesday night, and then they continue farther east to the famous and historic Williams Grove Raceway for the Summer Nationals coming up. $20,000 to win that one. So the month of money continues on for the World of Outlaws, and I know there's a bunch of Pennsylvania posse drivers licking their chops, wanting to keep that money from the Outlaws. So it is a big, big week of sprint car racing coming up. Ashley, I see you there in the Lethal Chassis shops. Looks good in that 10th anniversary Wing Nation sprint car gear.
Yes, go check it out. wingnation.com and get yours today.
wingnation.com for our 10th anniversary gear. Thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit.